At this time, I'd like to give special recognition to some very important guests, beginning with the head table. I'd like to recognize our District Governor, Art. His lovely wife, Carol. Our special guest, Bill, and his lovely wife. One of our key sponsors from the City of Edinburgh, Elias Longoria. Past District Governor, Maxie Hauser. Incoming District Governor, Betty Frampton. Okay. Okay, and I'd like to introduce the past district governors. Would you please stand? I know Lado. Would you please stand, past district governors? Is he the only one? Okay. I'd like to recognize the committees that put on the special event. First, I want to recognize the committee members, Jorge Flores, ADG Jorge Flores, and Maria Serna, committee members. Committee chair people is Adam Lara and Eddie Barcasi, and myself. Eddie, would you please stand? Where's Eddie? Okay, thank you. And all those who helped out. Want to thank special to McAllen South, John King, for the presentation, and Edinburgh Club for the registration. Would you please stand? Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Fred. Edinburgh, stand up. Okay. I'd like to recognize our special Rotary Club from the University of Texas, Pan Am. They're right over there. Please stand. Sponsors, Michael Marner. Michael, please stand. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, we're going to go with our District 408 test presentation. I'd like to introduce the winner of this year's presentation is Francisco Montalvo from Rio Grande City. This is a fine presentation, fine gentleman. It was a very tough competition a couple of weeks back, but this gentleman has what it takes to do it. And so, Francisco, I'm very proud of you. Thank you. All yours.
In case you guys don't remember the little aspects of the four-way test on the back of your little pamphlets, it has the 4 tests, so if you'd like to follow along, yeah, that's where you're going to want to do it. Standardized tests have been a method for comparatively measuring individuals on a single scale since the concept of intelligence testing was first developed by French psychologist Alfred Binet in 1905. Since then, they have grown exponentially in importance and now hold heavy influence over the lives of millions of young, capable individuals. Using the ethical guidelines set by the Rotary Club's 4-way test, I will prove that state standardized testing is currently spreading itself too thin, and as a result, is significantly hindering the free flow of knowledge that once existed. First, is it the truth? High schools all across America are suffering from the results of standardized tests being implemented by their state legislatures. End of course exams in particular are becoming overemphasized in importance and are preventing a proper curriculum from being taught and enforced. The truth is that teachers are being ordered to teach to the test and to disregard any materials not historically covered in these exams. Recently, I was interviewed by a representative from the University of Chicago, and within the span of a 4-hour interview, I found our most frequently recurring topic to be education. We spoke of how carelessly we seem to be casting aside a quality education, and how as a result, students are being deprived of the knowledge that they so richly deserve. Our curriculums are being thinned out, removing what the state deems unnecessary. And the saddest part of what's happening is that most people don't understand how fast or how far we're falling. While on a phone call preceding my interview with the representative, I was asked 3 questions to assess my knowledge and understanding of history, which based on his past experience, all high school seniors should know. What is the Roman circus? What were the Children's Crusades? and what do lemmings do? It was then I realized that I was more ignorant than I thought. And upon further reflection, I understood the truth of the matter was that state standardized testing had directly hindered my education. I am but one of many individuals who has suffered as a result of the excessive emphasis placed on state standardized testing. And it is upon my reflection of the past 4 years that I now understand the truly devastating effects it's had on the public school system. Students are being taught how to take a test rather than the subject itself. Furthermore, because the whole of any subject cannot be condensed into a mere 4-hour exam, state standardized testing annually facilitates the oversight of a great deal of information. Second, is it fair to all concerned? There are 3 questions that we, along with our state representatives, should be asking ourselves. Is it fair to the students to be deprived of the knowledge that we so richly deserve? Is it fair to the teachers to be made to instruct this lesser curriculum? And is it fair to the administration to have to enforce state standardized testing protocol despite the no negative consequences? And the answer is simple: no. Because of the limited scope of tested subjects, it becomes clear that the learning materials by which we are expected to build the foundation for our future are insufficient. This can be better conceptualized through the plot of the story of the 3 little pigs. The 3 little pigs are sent off into the world, armed with just the clothes on their back and the knowledge that they've incurred over past years. But because they don't know any better, the 3 pigs construct their housing from flimsy building materials. 1 of hay, 1 of sticks, and 1 of bricks. The building materials represent the various qualities of education that students receive today. The goal, of course, is to send students off with the metaphorical bricks by which they can construct a solid concrete foundation for their future. However, as a result of state standardized testing enabling the gradual deterioration of our once diverse curriculum, students are now leaving home only to discover what we thought was a strong foundation of bricks was actually loosely constructed of non-durable hay. This fabricated reality that we believe in puts us at a clear disadvantage from those schools that have the opportunity to explore a more expansive and diverse curriculum. And this was made clear to me by the Chicago representative when he said that, though I may be a well-rounded student, leaving the state would mean me having to play catch-up. It is my firm belief that the abolition of state standardized testing will allow for better learning, a stronger foundation, and will reestablish a more unified and focused school that more adequately prepares our youth for a higher education. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendship? Not only will the abolition of state standardized testing help to better prepare our students for a higher education, but it in turn will promote the virtues of goodwill and friendship throughout campuses everywhere. Annually, teachers lose an unnecessary plethora of instruction days due to benchmarks intended to prepare students for the end of course exam. During this time period, teachers become rightfully upset with the situation. If state standardized testing were to be repealed, teachers would retain all instruction days and have more time to collaborate with their department heads, create new lesson plans, and then spread their genuine goodwill intentions back to their students. According to the results of a study by world-renowned psychologist Albert Bandura, one of the most effective ways that people process and pick up on information is through observational learning. What this means is that students will model their behaviors after the actions, moods, and mentalities of respected authority figures. So, with the teachers emulating this new sense of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity, the students will undoubtedly take notice and mirror what they see. Thusly, this trickle-down effect results in the promoting of the virtues of goodwill and friendship among both students and faculty. Now for the fourth and final point, will it be beneficial to all concerned? With all this information in mind, I believe it can be safe to say that the abolition of state standardized testing will be beneficial to all parties concerned. State legislatures will receive praises for the positive effects the repeal has had on the education system. Administrators will be commended for their higher graduation and college acceptance rates. Teachers will be applauded for producing such intelligent and well-rounded individuals. And finally, our students, who are the future leaders of our society, will be better equipped to go out into the world to make and to be that difference that our society is perpetually searching for. By applying the principles of the Rotary Club's four-way test, I've learned the truth is that the abolition of state standardized testing will promote fairness of a quality education, ensure greater goodwill and friendship throughout campuses everywhere, and will be beneficial to all concerned for generations to come. Thank you.
Was I wrong? I told you. It was good. Also, also want to thank somebody that really been a trooper helping us out, and that's Jerry, our district treasurer. Is he here? Where's Jerry? There he is. Thank you, Jerry. Also want to recognize Andy Hagan, Foundation Chair. Thank you. Okay. Betty Lara, District Nominee 2617. Okay. Okay. Have I missed anybody? Okay. At this time, it gives me one more thing. We will do the 408 test. Okay, so just we'll do it. All right. I'll let you know when. All right. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our district governor, Art Zeitler.
Well, here we are. This concept of doing this, which I understand has not been held before, started about more than a year ago. I sprung it on the assistant governors, and we initially thought, well, travel, lunch, so forth, it wouldn't happen. But we felt like that with all the cooperation that we're starting to have with clubs working on projects together, that getting together, and we know that I know a number of you are going up to the district conference in Corpus Christi, but many of you cannot go, so we wanted you to have the opportunity to hear the president's representative, and a little extra, have a chance here to hear our winner of our district contest, obviously, and get a chance as we continue this community of Rotary in the Rio Grande Valley. I want to really thank our sponsors. We wanted to put on something in a very nice professional facility. We wanted to have it at a price that would be attractive, and we wanted to really reach out. And we have two sponsors, the City of Edinburgh and the Edinburgh Rotary Club. And I want to give them a big hand because that made it happen. And I know we've already recognized the committee and the assistant governors, but it really, as you can see, it takes a lot of people doing stuff for weeks and weeks and months to make it happen, and really appreciative of that. I wanted to recognize a few other people in the audience concerning a couple of things that we've been doing this year. Sister Norma Pimentel. Sister Norma's here. I don't know if everybody knows Sister Norma. She's the executive director of the Catholic Charities in the Rio Grande Valley. We had worked this very beginning of this Rotary year when we found out about the Central American refugees and tried to identify the best way that Rotary could participate in this major effort of humanitarian service. And we got to meet Sister Norma, and many of you got involved with Brownsville clubs, McAllen clubs, and other things were going on with Laredo clubs in Laredo. And we, in my mind, it initially started as a humanitarian effort to help people with humanitarian needs. But Sister Norma has helped me and others to understand that we really are doing something more than that. What we're doing, and I think accomplishing, is restoring the dignity in people who have had their dignity destroyed. And I think that's really what we're about, and humanitarian is part of that. Sister Norma recently spoke to the United Nations on this topic, and I think we really appreciate your efforts, the efforts of the organization, and thank you for allowing us to be a partner in that effort. Another organization that we are very involved with, and we were delighted to have our youth exchange students today we've had since 2009 when Jim Teeter, who's the current chair, started running our youth exchange program. We've had 57 students inbound and outbound to come in, and Jim is stepping down this year after his years of service, and Phil Brown of McAllen is taking over. And Jim, we're very, very appreciative of your service. And I understand that our district, through your efforts and the efforts of your committee, has some accomplishments that Phil, on your behalf, is going to come up and bring to our attention. Am I correct? Okay, please come. You're already here. I'm clued into this.
This is a certificate of achievement. Reads the North American Youth Exchange Network Certificate of Achievement. The silver certificate is presented to District 5930 in appreciation of its commitment to excellence and dedication to continuous improvement. We want to thank you, Governor, and all your past governors for the support you've given the youth exchange program because it's so important.
All right, thank you very much. Let me ask past District Governor Laurel Solis and past District Governor Maxie Hauser to come up, and I think you're taking some photos for this. If you guys, this is over a period of years. It's not a one-year deal. Get away from the microphone. My wife, Carol, has been introduced a little earlier, but let me ask you to come back up and help me out a little bit here. Several different ways, I think. Some of you all, of course, many of you know Carol because we just, of course, visited all of your clubs during this last year, and we had a lot of fun and spent a lot of time, and she with me at all these visits, and it's been really helpful, and it's been a great journey, a Rotary journey for us. We wanted to do several things here. We're going to recognize all the assistant governors again tomorrow in Corpus Christi, but I wanted to recognize the assistant governors because you have as many club members here today at this time with our recognition. We had a vision this year. The vision involved a lot of new initiatives. It involved picking up the bar in several areas that we felt like we could make improvements. And there were a couple of groups that were essential for this. So, and one of them is our team, the assistant governor team. So let me, we'll start with Area 8, Eddie Barnetsky. Come on up here. Area 9, Maria Cerna. Area 10, Adam Lara. Area 11, Jorge Flores. Actually, I've been doing this all year, and I managed to get the area number wrong. Area 12, Jorge Flores. I'm not really good. You know, it took me a long time to remember that we're District 5930. Amando Chapa, Area 11. Thank you. This is a great team. Okay, good. There's another special group of people that are out in the audience, and that's the club presidents for Rotary year 2014-2015. We started this journey, many of us, at the bonding dinners at our home in November of 2013, and we continued on with excellent attendance from this area at Pets, Lone Star Pets, and then with an extraordinary attendance of well over 225 at the District Assembly in Kingsville, and continuing with efforts where our clubs as a group have pledged over $230,000, which, as we all complete by the end of June, will be a record for our district in support for the Rotary Foundation. And that's because of club leadership. The club president, please stand up, club presidents. All the current club presidents. I might be accused of being prejudiced, but I think you're the most effective group, and I think the statistics bear it out. And the other is that we have membership growth in our district this year so far of plus 86, which is a big deal. So congratulations, club presidents. The President of Rotary International every year sets out the goals and requirements for presidential citation, and about 25% of our clubs in our district completed that. It had to be done by March 31st. And for those of you who are president-elects, I would encourage you, if you haven't got the presidential citation for 15-16 requirements, that you do so, because you should consider them as being a roadmap, part of the roadmap for your business plan for the year. So, but we have several clubs that completed it. Actually, Rotary has not yet published and printed the actual citations. Hopefully we will have those available for the District Assembly. But with this august body here, I thought we'd go ahead and recognize you. Have a letter confirming that you have got it. We have 4 clubs from this area. The Rotary Club of Harlingen. Kathy, please. So everybody's got to go to District Assembly to get the real thing. The Rotary Club of McAllen North, Mike McLaurin. I remember you from the bonding dinner. You were wondering whether you got in something over your head, and it turned out not to be true. Great job. Thank you. Rotary Club of Port Isabel, Jackie Dempsey. And somebody who knows a lot more about wine than I do, Fabio Ramos, Rotary Club of Brownsville Sunrise. You sure look like the most interesting man in the world. I don't know. All right. Thank you. And we have 9 other clubs in the district, and we'll be recognizing everybody at the district conference tomorrow in Corpus Christi. Now, we said we set the bar a little higher, and we did. This year we had Exemplary Club, a recognition for the first time. What we did was we felt like, okay, presidential citation is a pretty strong deal, but there's a lot of things we care about here that we really want to do. And so we have set up the standards for the Exemplary Club for District 5930. And that included not only you had to do 6 out of 7. One of them was the presidential citation. Be a premier club in the Ignite program, send the president-elect to Pets, send at least 2 people to District Assembly, hopefully more, but we didn't want to penalize the smaller clubs. Be involved with an international project, be involved with that would comply with a global grant, either sponsor or co-sponsor, be involved with a district, one that would comply with district project of some kind, club project that would comply, and also be involved with at least 2 of our district youth programs. 25% of our clubs did do so, and I'm very honored to be able to recognize several clubs in this area who did achieve this. Now, District Governor-elect Betty Franham has indicated she's very pleased with this program, and she is planning to continue this program. And of course, part of it was preferred seating at the district conference and a plaque you'll see in a minute. So this is a continuing thing. So those of you who may not have totally grasped the fact this is a big deal and that this is really something to work for, I hope you will, as president-elects, take that under advisement, because Betty is continuing this for next year. So let's recognize those who first year around did so well. Rotary Club of Harlingen. Brownsville Sunrise. Port Isabel. Edinburgh. Congratulations. One of the high points of the district conference, which I wanted to make sure we could share with as many as possible by having luncheons in two different parts of our district, is the opportunity to hear a presentation from the official representative of Rotary International, from the president of Rotary International. Someone is chosen by the president of Rotary International to go to district conferences in other districts in order to have the opportunity to share the message of Rotary, of the bigger Rotary that we are involved with. And this year, President Gary has selected Bill McLaurin of Raleigh, North Carolina, past district governor from District 7710. Bill is a North Carolina native. He has been in the Rotary Club of Raleigh for 37 years. He must have been 10 when he got in, I don't know. But he's a graduate of North Carolina State University, and he's a principal owner of the McLaurin Parking Company, which is a parking and transportation management firm with offices all over North Carolina. He and his wife, Sally, and Sally's here today, have been married for 42 years. They have 3 grown children. He has done a number of things in Rotary. He has chaired a district conference. He was club president in 1988-89. He subsequently served as district governor in 95-96. And he has served as district as Rotary Foundation chair, GSE selection chair, membership chair. He was chairman of their Zone Institute, which is a big deal. And he has represented his district on the Council of Legislation. He has received from the Rotary Foundation the citation for meritorious service. He's been involved with GSE teams, ambassador scholarship hosting. He has been to 19 Zone Institutes and 10 international conferences. And this is his 3rd time to be president's rep. That is really, as far as I know, unheard of. A lot of past district governors get to do it perhaps once, maybe twice, 3 times. He is obviously one of Rotary International's go-to guys, and I am delighted to introduce my best new friend from Rotary, Bill McLaurin.
My first remark is that was astoundingly generous. I'm a guy that hangs around Rotary, and I hang around with people who make decisions, such as who is the president's rep, and I have learned a lot from all of these people. But I want to thank Art and Carol for the hospitality they've shown Sally and I since we arrived yesterday. And we're looking forward to the conference up in Corpus Christi starting tonight with a big party. And I hope at least some of the people from here will join us at the party. I am representing our president, Gary Wong, and his spouse, Corinna, and he chooses people that he deals with through the day. And I had the opportunity to be Gary's aide when Gary came to Raleigh to help celebrate the 100th anniversary of Rotary in North Carolina, because Raleigh was the first club. And I found out today, I actually knew before that Rotary was Club 124, and I found out today that Corpus Christi was Rotary Club number 125. So maybe we're connected in some way to this district. But we met Gary and Corinna at that time, and they did a magnificent job at our 100th anniversary. And I guess he felt like we were only with him about 24 hours, but I guess he felt like I could represent him. But I feel I'm going to try to do my best. Our international theme is Light Up Rotary, and you have it lit up all over the room. And I really believe what I've seen on the screens here demonstrates that you are already lighting up Rotary, and have probably been lighting up Rotary for years and will continue to light up Rotary in the future. Governor Art has shared some of the information, and then I've seen a lot of slides today that shows me that you're doing great work. Your work in India on the solar project that you had to go around and do put district grant funds into instead of global. But your water system in Honduras, the Rotary dialysis system center in India, and then the diabetes monitoring and prevention initiative that you're starting just across the border in Mexico. They're all just wonderful projects that are going to positively affect people that you'll never meet. And isn't that what Rotary is all about? Is we do work to help people that we will never know, will never meet, but they will know us because we're Rotarians. You have so many, more than a dozen district grants that are going on, things right here in the district, and some of them were on the screen earlier. Some of them are up in the north end of the district, but you're doing great work with the Rotary Foundation funds under the new system that we have for global and district grants, and I'm so glad that you're taking advantage of what's available with the Rotary Foundation. I also applaud you for attending this meeting, because this is it's a precursor for the district conference, actually, but I'm going to say this is the beginning of the district conference. And the district conference is I come from a background that's district conference oriented. I haven't missed a district conference in my district since 1986. And I actually have to go to my district conference next weekend as a participant like you are. I came to all of I've done in Rotary came out of a district conference, because in 1985, and I know I'm a lot older than you think I am. I was really 12 when I joined Rotary, but in 1985, the district governor-elect was a member of my club. I didn't know what that was. I was just a club member. I'd been in about 7 or 8 years, and I'd done what I thought we were supposed to do as Rotarians. I showed up at projects, and I felt like I was doing all I could, but I was probably just doing what I wanted to do. But the district governor-elect asked me out of the blue to chair the district conference. I'd never been to one. I didn't know what they did there. I didn't know if there was a password or a handshake or I didn't know. I didn't know if it was 2 days, 3 days, or 10 weeks. I didn't know a thing about it. And I tried to convince District Governor-elect Bill Stone that he was making a mistake. I was the wrong guy for that. But he insisted that he knew everything that needed to be done to put on a district conference. After all, he was the district governor, and they know everything, don't they, Art? And he said, I'll tell you everything you need to know to get this job done. So I said, okay. And I honestly have thanked him many times to his face, and I thank him every day that he thought enough of me to drag me out of my seat and make me go to the district conference. Now, I did go to the district conference before I was chair. As soon as I was named, I knew I had to go see a district conference, and so I saw that one. But then I acted as chairman, and as chairman, people get to know you. You stand up in front of a crowd, you make announcements, things like that, and all of a sudden you're known throughout the district. And for me, it showed me that there's a lot more to Rotary than what happens on Mondays at lunch when I go to my club. And before that, Rotary to me was in that room. And I suspect there's a lot of Rotarians in this district that feel the same way. Rotary is in that room, in their community. But for me, Rotary is around the world, and Rotary is getting more people involved in Rotary. Because Rotary has changed my life, made my life better. And I'd like for other people to experience the same thing I have and to be thankful for Rotary. Every Rotarian at some time understands, if they're going to stay in the organization for very long, they understand the personal benefits of being a member. And I would venture to say everybody in this room who's a Rotarian has learned the personal benefits. It may be a good friend that you met through Rotary, or it may be once when you were working on a local project in your community that you were going to feel proud when you finished. That was a personal benefit to you. Or it may be an international experience that you had, maybe working on an international project, or even attending the international convention. Maybe if you were in it long enough ago, you might have been able to go to the one in San Antonio. It was wonderful, and I enjoyed it a lot. One of the things that I've noticed is that there are so many ways to do charity work in the United States now. American society and now is so much different than it was 100 years ago when Rotary and Lions and Civitans and Kiwanis and things like that started to grow. And it's really different from 50 years ago, when a lot of people think we reached the pinnacle of civic club development. Most of the clubs, or many of the clubs, have seen membership declines over the last 25 years. And I'm impressed and happy to hear that you have membership growth here, and I want to encourage you, because it's every Rotarian's responsibility to get new members. But now you're competing against all the other charities, because we see ourselves, and a lot of times we promote ourselves as somebody that we do projects, and we do things in the community that are good for the community. Well, there's a lot of charities that can say the same thing, if that's all we are. But that's not all we are. We are, this group, we're a fellowship. We meet together on a weekly basis. We have a meal together. We are meeting with our friends. We're working with our friends. And if we can get people to understand the importance of face-to-face meeting like we have today, because that is sort of gone by the wayside in our society now. Now you can be of service if you'll join a organization that you're a member simply because you sent them a check and you put in your email address. Now, how many times have you regretted putting in your email address? I know that I have. But what I want Rotarians to think about is, are you, and I know that I'm talking to the choir here because you're here, but how many Rotarians are in your clubs that are not here, that did not step out and go to a multi-club or district meeting? I think that a lot of times we don't give our new members, and I understand you've got new members coming in, so we don't give them enough knowledge about the organization. We don't tell them enough to be comfortable when somebody says, what is Rotary? And if you're not comfortable answering that question, the member's never going to bring up the subject because he or she is afraid that they might not be able to answer a question that's going to come at them. Now, most every Rotarian could give us some definition of Rotary, but I submit that some members are unsure enough that they're not talking about it. A lot of times a mention of Rotary in a general conversation will bring up a comment like, my dad was a Rotarian. My mom was a Rotarian. My grandfather, my cousin. But there's a connection there. And people that have a close by or a tenuous connection with Rotary are your most likely members for the future. I've been district membership chairman. When you get the emails from Rotary International from everybody in your district who went on the website at Rotary International and filled out the information and left their email address. Expressed some interest to the point where they actually went in there and did something. And you get those names. Well, when I had that job and the membership information came to me, I could put everybody into one of three categories. One was they thought that if you got in Rotary, it was going to be a boost for their business. And that may happen, but it's certainly not. I'll bet you we would have less than half the people in this room could honestly say that Rotary ever really helped, being a member of Rotary ever helped their business. But some people think that it might. But we also have a group of people that respond to Rotary International about membership that will say in their reason they had a relative that was a member of Rotary and that relative enjoyed that membership. And the third group is people who want to be a part of the community and they think Rotary might put them into being a part of the community. Well, that's exactly what Rotary is. So those people who want to be a part of the community and want to do things good in the community, certainly we want to seek them out and find them and see if they want to be part of Rotary. But also we want to look for those people who have that connection, however long ago it was. I was at a conference one time, and there was one of the speakers was a NFL referee who refereed 3 Super Bowls. But when he was in high school, senior in high school, he received a scholarship from his local Rotary Club. He was connected, but he wasn't a Rotarian. Nobody had ever asked him to be a Rotarian. So there are people out there that would love for you to contact them and ask them to be be a member of Rotary. But we have to remember we're not the only service option out there, so we have to make ourselves stand out. And I think you're doing some things this year that are really making Rotary stand out in this area, and you have an opportunity to piggyback on that and grow your clubs. How many of you have ever been to a Rotary International Convention? Quite a few. Was it a good thing? Was it fun or enjoyable? There's no pressure that I ever felt at a Rotary International Convention. In 2017, the convention will be in Atlanta, Georgia, which is not in Texas, but is not far from the other side of Texas. So if you can get across Texas, you're almost there. And I would encourage you, knowing that it's 2017, you can go online and you can get the exact dates. But I would hope that you take that opportunity to get some of your newer members who have never been to a Rotary International Convention, and some of the others who have never been, to go with you. Go to the Rotary International Convention, see what it's like when you see the real international aspect of Rotary. I went to Sydney last year, and we were using that as an excuse to go to Australia, I think. But still, the convention itself was just spectacular. And if you can't do that, another worthwhile trip that you could make would be to come to District 7710 in North Carolina, where we have the Rotary Peace Center, the only one in North America that is funded by Rotary Foundation. I know you've had a participant in the Rotary Peace Center from this district, so you know something about it. In fact, I saw it on your website that you're promoting the Peace Center. But last weekend, I was at over at UNC, and I'm not a graduate of UNC or Duke, but I graduated from North Carolina State University, and I don't normally pump up UNC. But UNC and Duke host the Peace Center, and you have an opportunity, all Rotarians have an opportunity to go there in April, one weekend in April, when all of the students the graduating students, 10 of them, will present their work, what they have been focusing on, and it may be how to live in a country like an area like you live in that has a river that runs right down the border, and how do you use that water. Last week I heard a young lady from Turkmenistan talk about Uzbekistan. There are 5 stands over there, by the way. But 2 of them have a river that they both depend on. And there's constant discord about the use of that water. But we have students at the Peace Center that are looking at how can we deal with that type of discord to keep it from going into war. I think if you visit the Peace Center when they're presenting, you will come away from there with great pride for the Rotary Foundation. And I encourage you to continue to look for mid-career individuals who might make good candidates to study public health at UNC or international law at Duke. It's a master's degree program, and people come there and get their master's degree, but they all work together in courses about conflict resolution and peacemaking and what has caused wars and discord in the past, what we can do in the future. And it will give you great hope that perhaps the quality of these people will give you hope that perhaps we're on the right track. And sometime about 20 or 25 years from now, we will be judging to see how effective that program is by how many decision makers we have trained out in the world. And if we all believe in Rotary as a vessel for good and for service and for fellowship and friendship, can't we all also believe that we might be able to affect discord and unpleasantness around the world? If we had more Rotarians, we'd have less strife. I believe. I hope I'm right. Now, we're going to be in Corpus Christi tonight and at a party, and tomorrow at district conference, and I hope that next year at the district conference, if you're not going to Corpus Christi for the district conference, I hope next year's district conference, wherever it is, that you will try to go to that and at least see what happens if you haven't been to one before, and take a new member with you. If we can do that, we will be lighting up Rotary for future generations. If we can pull people out of the seat in their club, send them, go with them to a district event or an international event that will show them the wide world of Rotary, we will have done them a great favor, as was done for me many years ago. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to all of you, and I thank you for making this event a great success for Governor Art, and I hope it will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Obviously, those of us who have had the opportunity to see Rotary at the national and international level are very strong on the issue of as many others possible to do that, because once you see that, like me, you'll get hooked, like Bill's gotten hooked, at what we're doing in the world with this organization, and the much that we can do that's more than what we're doing by the extra knowledge we can gain. I think we did something else today, in addition to having a chance to our program. This event had another purpose in my mind. And let me see if you agree with me. I believe, based on the success of this luncheon, we need to have more district events in the Rio Grande Valley. Do you agree with me? I have been your spokesperson, and now I've got some darn good evidence. Thank you. Let's have the assistant governors come up. We're going to do the four-way test, but I want the assistant governors to come up, and then I would like the club representatives to come up for the bells. So we're going to do the four-way test, and then we're going to ring the bells to adjourn. Okay, AG, assistant governors up on stage, club presidents or the representative of the club down here. Yes. And while we're doing that, I neglected something that actually we had a program on this earlier today, but we had a wonderful ceremony this morning at the War Memorial, Veterans Memorial in McAllen, and Colonel Frank Plummer is here, and he received the award today as the district's outstanding community leader. Colonel Frank Plummer is here. Let me recognize him. Maria, I'm going to give you the microphone. You're going to lead us in the four-way test. How about that?
Okay. Can you all stand and join me in the things we think, say, and do? First, is the truth. Second, is fair to open concern. Third, will build better friendships. And fourth,
Now on 3, we'll ring the bells to adjourn. And isn't fun, right?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Good.
Thank you, buddy.